This episode of Learn Chinese Now is brought to you by iTalki.com. 你好. Hello everyone. These are the 5 essential phrases for surviving a trip to the Chinese-speaking world. Oh, and we're not going to teach you 你好. You should already know that. Number 1, 在哪儿 or 在哪里. This is how you ask where something is in Chinese. Suppose you're dying to relieve yourself. You can ask 厕所在哪儿? 厕所 means bathroom. As to whether you say 哪儿 or 哪里, just remember adding is more of a Beijing and northern China thing. If you're in the south of China or if you're in Taiwan, then it's normally better just to go with 哪里. Number 2, 多少钱? This is basically how you ask how much something costs in Chinese. 多少 literally means much, little, and this is their way of asking how much, and 钱 means money. In a market or store, you can just point at something and say 多少钱? The vendor will then tell you the price as so many kuai, the spoken or informal way of referring to a unit of Chinese or Taiwanese currency. The more formal word is Yuan, which is printed on banknotes and you may occasionally hear in stores. If you need to brush up on your numbers, check out our videos here. And remember, in markets in China, you can often bargain or 讲价, literally talk about the price. Now, if you just can't understand the vendor when they tell you the price, you can ask them to 写下来. This means write it down. If you don't understand the price, you can just ask him to 写下来. You can also do this for other things, like addresses. For example, you could say to someone at your hotel or wherever you are staying, 这里的地址写下来. 这里的地址 means the address of this place. 写下来, write it down. Then you can take the address and show it to a taxi driver later when you want to go back to your accommodation. You could also use the same method to ask a Chinese person to write down the address to a restaurant. Speaking of restaurants, what if you want to ask if a restaurant serves your favorite dish? 4. 你们有没有? This means do you have? But notice how we use 你们, the plural for you, instead of just 你, the singular you. So it really means do you guys have? And this is how you ask if a store or a restaurant has something or a certain dish. If you were to use the singular 你 and say 你有没有, you would just be asking that person if they personally had that thing. That's not the idea of this phrase. So you could use this phrase in a restaurant and ask 你们有没有宫保鸡丁? Do you have Kung Pao Chicken? The waiter will reply 有 for yes or 没有 for no. Once you finish your meal, you'll need this next phrase. Number 5, 买单. This is how you ask for the bill in a Chinese restaurant. This word originally came from Hong Kong Cantonese, but translates very well into Mandarin too. There is a more formal way of asking for the bill in Mandarin, and that is 结账, or literally settle the account. But 买单 works fine just about anywhere. Okay, so those are our 5 essential Chinese phrases for traveling in China or Taiwan. And if you're not lucky enough to be going on a trip to practice your Chinese in Asia, don't forget you can take advantage of our buy one get one free deal on Chinese lessons with iTalki.com. You can practice your Chinese with a personal tutor over Skype from the convenience of your own home. Type this link into your browser or click on the link in the description. And if you guys have any more phrases you think are essential Chinese that every learner should know, please type them into the comments. And hey, maybe we'll explain how to use them in our next video. For now, 再见.
You've noticed my new Apple Watch? Yeah, she's quite a beaut, isn't she?
Is this weird? Well, that's exactly what we're going to learn this week. How to say that you or someone else are doing 2 things at the same time. In this case, 一边说话一边喝茶.